Sickos Club.
Sickos Club.
Hey, come here. You like pro wrestling? We got a little something for you. Two fans, 3,000 miles away. We each been watching for more than 30 years. Celebrating the art form, the action, the homoeroticism. We ain't rating matches. We ain't analyzing stories. We ain't experts. We just sit down, shut up, and mark out! All right, everybody, welcome back. It is another episode of Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out, a pro wrestling podcast about pro wrestling. And it's Blade Daily. I'm happy to be with you, and I'm happy to be with my guest hosts this week, because I am joined by the returning, maybe most times ever on this show, Books and Bodyslams. Books, how you doing?
Well, one, I'm honored that I get to bother you this much.
Yeah.
So that makes me really happy.
It's no bother at all. You come back, you subject yourself to this over and over again, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, that's a better way of looking at it.
I think it is. It's the more accurate way, right? You don't gotta puff me up. But speaking of somebody who needs no puffing up, we are joined for the first time by our friend, colleague, high school graduate, I bet, Terrence. Terrence, how are you, man?
Here.
Yes.
I made it.
Fantastic. It's great to have you with us.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, we've talked online many times, but This is the first time I've ever actually sat in with you and had a chance to actually hear those beautiful dulcet tones, my friend.
Thank you.
My God.
I've been complimented on my voice before, but I don't know how I sound to other people.
You're right.
So like on the outside, I'm just like, I sound like shit. People are like, you have such a nice voice. I'm just like, are you sure about that? Are you lying to me?
No, you have a very podcast voice, like a very radio voice.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Actually, I got the name The Black Nerd because I was a radio intern and that was my title on the show.
That was the Black Nerd. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yes. And if you want to, and you will no doubt discover throughout this podcast, if you are a fan of Books and Bodyslams, you go find her. She is Books and Bodyslams on whatever social media network you look on, unless she's not, and then go look on a different one. And Terrence, you are the Black Nerd, or Godspeed you Black Nerd, just anywhere social media happens.
Yeah, I'm pretty easy to find.
Indeed. And as we said before, and most importantly, I'm Blade Daily, and it's so good to be here talking about A to the E to the dub. We got some stuff to cover, so let's get right into it. First of all, this week, AEW came up real big. Speaking of dubs, came up real big with Sports Illustrated, of all people. You know, people talk about the Wrestling Observer. For some reason, people seem to care about the PWI 500 or the PWI 250 or anything PWI publishes, which, by the way, I don't say that as a hater. I love PWI. I grew up reading that shit. I would argue that whatever is good or bad about my verbal communication style, a lot of it has to do with PWI, because I read that shit all the time. But AEW came in and just swept the fuck out of these awards. There was only one they didn't win that they absolutely should have won, which was Match of the Year. I didn't even see the match that did win, but I just know AEW had something better.
I saw it. And it was good, but it was not like Hollywood ending good.
Right. Well, and
it was not Hangman Mox good.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, no diss on Rhea Ripley or Io. Like Io might be the best wrestler in WWE, male or female, but
facts.
Yeah. Come on, for real. So anyway, they won Promotion of the Year. Female Wrestler of the Year was Mercedes Moné. Male Wrestler of the Year was Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah.
Terrence, have you met Hangman Adam Page before?
Oh, you want to talk about when I met Hangman Adam Page on April 30th of 2025, where he gave me a hug, and it was the best experience of my life.
And you have
I'm still jealous.
Extensively documented through photos that you barely ever share monthly, just to make us all fucking really jealous.
Yeah.
Looked like you guys had a good time together.
It was a great show. I was already excited for the show when I went there, but like to be able to meet Hangman Page and like tell him, "Hey, this is what you mean to me," is like a insane experience.
Mm-hmm.
And for it to go well and not for me to trip over my words and sound like a dumbass. But
Okay, be real though. How much did you pee? You peed a little. Yeah, okay.
Tiny bit.
For those of you who can't see, this is an audio only podcast. Terrence did pee. He
It's a little.
peed a little.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah, just a tiny bit.
After.
Look, that's less than I would have peed. So I congratulate you, sir.
Same. I mean, we all know what would happen if I met Kenny Omega. So like,
Well,
let's just be
right.
real.
I mean, so much just like clean up on aisle books and body slams. Like it's just a mess.
We have to empty the arena now.
Yeah. This is Anarch way we advertised it.
Not the one that we like. Oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah, this is the bad kind. Tag team of the year was FTR, which I felt could just as easily have gone to my boys, the Young Bucks. I posted on Threads the other day. Both these teams are having career years. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. Like FTR makes anybody seem like they could win. Like anytime. Like they faced Juice and Austin Gunn on Dynamite this last week, and I was like, there is no fucking way in hell. Especially when Juice came out in Colton's panties. I'm like, no. No. This is not.
Were those Colton's or Tony's?
I assume they're Colton's. I assume Tony probably helped them pick them out.
It was too bright green. I feel like it's too bright green for something Tony would wear.
That's true.
So she probably helped design
That's
them.
true.
That's true. That's true. And I'm sure Tony found it incredibly hot. I did not. And I think Juice, just rock your weird strongman look that you're doing right now. It's working for you. You've convinced us. You grew the beard back. Now you got that badass mullet. Just rock with that, friend. Rock with it. Stop wearing Colton Gunn's panties. Okay.
And don't ever be beardless again. Do not traumatize us again.
Just never do that to us again, Juice.
We don't
Never.
know who that is.
Yeah, exactly. And it's still on his roster page picture on their website. I saw it the other day and I was like, who is screaming? It was me. I was just screaming looking at the picture. Best on the mic was Timeless Tony Storm. Duh.
Of course.
Breakout Wrestler of the Year was Kyle Fletcher. Fucking duh.
Duh.
Like,
Of course, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Storyline of the Year, Hangman's Redemption.
Yeah.
Duh. Like, I mean, obviously. Rivalry of the Year, Hangman versus John Moxley.
Duh.
And I gotta say, I was a little surprised that Show of the Year was Double or Nothing because it was a great show. But All In, to me, was just like,
Yeah.
that might be the best show I've ever seen. Like, that was,
Yeah.
fuck.
Same. I was very surprised. I was like, out of all the shows, Double or Nothing?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, mind you, every pay-per-view has been an A-tier pay-per-view.
Yes.
But like, All In was A++.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
S tier. Yeah, it was the way, you hear like old people talk about WrestleMania 3, because they were children
Right.
when they watched that shit, and they were like, that was WWF's greatest pay-per-view. Or like WrestleMania 17 for people my age who are also old. They'll say that's the greatest pay-per-view of all time. All In felt like that this year. It really did.
I mean, I'm looking at the card again. The Swerve and Ospreay match versus the Young Bucks,
Entrance of the year right there, by the way.
Yes.
like the segment of that match where they're like trading back and forth, and then they all go down for like the double down.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like I've watched it. I don't know how many times.
Yeah, me
and
too.
it's just every time I'm just like, how does this happen?
Right.
But yeah, it was just amazing. Like,
But also Okada Omega round 5.
Yeah.
Like
That was great.
like
And you had Hangman and Mox, which was incredibly satisfying,
and Tony and Mercedes.
yeah,
That's the thing is like, and Terrence is a really good influence on me sometimes because I'll be nitpicking at something and Terrence is like, Dude, we're watching Hangman fucking Page. He just fucking flipped over the top rope and hit that guy with a clothesline. What the fuck are we talking about here? And it's so true. It's so true. Terrence,
well, I just mean there's like, I have been a critic in the past. Like I have been paid to write about video games. Like I will be paid maybe in the future. Who knows? But like, there's also like, you could just be a fan of something sometimes. Like I don't owe anyone deference for my view of AEW just because they like something different or they don't like the same wrestler as I do. It's just like, I kind of just don't give a shit. Like,
well, yes. Getting older is just not giving a shit, really.
Like, I like what I enjoy. And if you want to come along on the journey and enjoy it with me, that's great. But if you don't, then leave me alone. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what to say to you.
Well, yeah, it's like, if you don't, just fuck off. Like, I don't really
do the thing you do enjoy. I hope you find something you do enjoy, because I don't want to talk to you about things I don't enjoy.
Yes.
I'm not 20 years old. I'm not trying to impress anybody anymore. Like, I don't need to pretend like I'm like, oh yeah, well, WWE did this thing. It's like, I don't give a shit.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's one of my favorite comebacks to people is if they comment just out of the blue on some pro, just like I'm talking about something I like, and they just jump on to try and troll me. My favorite thing to say is like, please tell me you're 15. Like, please, just please. Like, I'm not going to look at your profile picture. I don't even care. I'm going to hide this for everyone and block your ass in just a second, but please tell me you're 15 years old.
My go-to has just been telling people shut the fuck up and then blocking them.
Mine is, and this really pisses them off, thank you for the engagement and the algorithm boost.
Oh, no.
Yep. I mean, it's true. It's at the end of the day, that is exactly what they've done.
Especially when they continue to argue with me. I'm like, thank you so much. You just did the algorithm. Like a great...
You're making other people see this now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
Exactly. Well, you know what's crazy is, so in these Sports Illustrated awards, the thing that I take issue with is literally that they didn't pick the right AEW show to call Show of the Year. I could totally understand. Like, I would have said, like, Wrestle Dream was an incredible show this year.
Yeah.
That kind of came out of nowhere. It's always that way. That show never has any build because it's squeezed between two other pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And then it just crushes it every single year. Books, you were going to say?
I was going to say Revolution, which for being in the first half of the year was probably my second favorite pay-per-view this year.
Absolutely.
And to the point where I was like, oh my God, the Osprey Fletcher match with the Spanish Fly was Revolution. The Hollywood ending was Revolution. Like
Mox and Cope.
Revolution.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. That doesn't necessarily land the same way. But Kenny and Takeshita was. Yeah.
So, yeah. Like, so for me, I was thinking it would be one of those, like All In or Revolution. Because like Revolution had the most like two of the most iconic matches we've had so far this year. And
yeah, I'm just going through and looking at pay-per-views this year. I think Wrestle Dream might be my personal favorite. Simply like just the energy of the show, Hangman versus Samoa Joe, Darby putting away Mox. When Brody yells, Bandito, never stop fighting. Like, I think about that part at least once a week. Like, Statlander versus Timeless Tony Storm, like, Fletcher versus Briscoe. Like, there's just so much on the show that, I mean, the Hurt Syndicate versus the Demand, where it's just like 6 dudes just beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Like personally, that's just my favorite show just because of how it felt. Like, but I couldn't argue with anybody over like, oh, I like Revolution better. Of course you did. I like All In better. Of course you did. Like,
right.
Why wouldn't you?
Right.
Like they have yet to put out a show this year, and we're very close to the end of this year. They've yet to put out a show where I felt like my $50 or even my time as a fan felt wasted. Mm-hmm. Like, I got my brother who hasn't watched wrestling since 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has started watching AEW with me. Like, he watches Collision. He watches Dynamite by himself, but we watch Collision together, and we watch every pay-per-view together. Like for the last 3 or 4 pay-per-views.
That's great. That's so cool. And I would say the same. Like I have shown AEW to people who gave up on wrestling like in 2005 or, kind of like we're far enough away from WCW existing and Vince McMahon feeling any impetus to make something good that a ton of people just gave up. And I was one of them. I took a 7-year break from wrestling just because I was like, this sucks now. So yes, our biggest issue was that we all felt that a different show was the best show of the year. And that, that they threw WWE a bone with the match of the year thing. Fine, whatever. You got to give the people something. Got to give the people something.
But if they gave everything to AEW, there would have been a bigger conniption online than there already is.
There would have been the funniest thing ever is what would have happened is the funniest shit of all time, which is just watching these people crash the fuck out.
I mean, they're already crashing out, but...
Yes. And though we are talking about a contest of, Sports Illustrated's opinion about what was best, there's a different kind of contest going on in AEW right now, and that's a little thing called the C2. It's really, 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 really fucking great. I fucking love it. I think it's in my top 3 things that happen in wrestling now. Like, I just love it. We were talking a few weeks ago, Brett, Michelle, and I were talking about, they've leaned really hard into the hardcore stuff. It would be nice to just see some wrestling again.
Mm-hmm.
And the C2 started the next week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like AEW goes through, there is definitely like, I don't even want to say eras because like eras defines like a time, but it's more like they have a cycle of what they go through of like, here we're gonna ramp things up and things are gonna be more violent. Then we're gonna have more technical wrestling. We're gonna have more comedy during these times. Like you could feel when there's a shift in AEW, but it's not so pronounced. Like it does. They kind of value your ability to watch the show and pay attention. You can see where things are going if you pay attention.
Yes, I agree with that. It's been most pronounced this year where it's felt like, from like All Out through Wrestle Dream through Full Gear. It's kind of like a lot of hardcore stuff, a lot of stuff like that, Obviously got Mox, there's just a certain amount of disgusting filth you're going to have to deal with because that man wants to bleed. He wants to leave skin all over the place. But, they're, a little more than usual. And so I understood Brett's point and could agree, but I think this tournament has just been absolutely top notch. This week on Collision, okay? We're so used to the concept of an A show and a B show, right? And just forget about that. Like, it doesn't exist. Just forget about it. We got Konosuke Takeshita, the NJPW World Heavyweight Champion, versus Claudio Castagnoli, the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion, on television, and they wrestled to a 20-minute draw in the middle of the show. It wasn't even the main event of the show.
They wrestled. It is a wrestling match. They do wrestling moves, but in reality, they were just 2 big men hitting each other very hard. Like it was like you could see, like, if you want to get into like actual like the logic of storytelling of wrestling and all that, Claudio versus Takeshita, like you can see the story in that match of what they're trying to do to stop each other. But if you're just like locked in and you're just like a fan, you're just like, holy shit, these 2 guys are beating the shit out of each other. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's just awesome to watch. And that's all I gotta say about that.
That was my preferred method of approaching this match, was just like, whoa, giant big beatings. Wow.
Right. I was gonna say, then directly afterwards, you have Speedball versus Kevin Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And like that match is also just like, you put this on TV, like this is just Collision for us. Like,
right. Also not even the main event. Like it's so. Books, tell us how do you feel about Claudio and Takeshita first?
Oh well, I loved it. I mean, two big men hitting each other. Sign me up. Sign me up. My favorite part about the C2 is every match feels like a pay-per-view match for free. And a match I didn't know I needed. Like, I didn't know I needed Kyle Fletcher versus Speedball until it happened.
Right.
Like, if you say it to me, like, if you say Kyle Fletcher versus Speedball, I'd be like, yeah, I'd watch that. And then, like, Kyle Fletcher versus Speedball in reality is just like, this is a Wednesday. Like, what are we doing?
Like, was I ready for Speedball versus Kevin Knight? No, because I don't want to see them hate each other.
Right.
But
yes.
Well, and I loved how they handled that match because there was never a point where it was like they started getting mad at each other. They just do the pro wrestling shit. They didn't do that. They said right before the match, we're going to hit each other probably harder, you know? We're not going to, Speedball said, don't fucking pull any punches, like, let's go out there and do this. And then they did. And it was just fucking incredible.
Amazing.
And I think these two have had the biggest glow up through this whole tournament so far. We know how good Kyle Fletcher is. We know how good Konosuke Takeshita is. Fucking Kazuchika Okada, I think we get it. But then you have these two guys who have just shined the whole way through. And even in losses, they look so good. Books?
I was going to say, I think the C2 in particular for Speedball and Kevin Knight showed why they were signed. And why in particular Kevin Knight is going to be the future, like one of the future stars of the company.
Well, and I'm telling people,
because he is much younger than Speedball.
Yeah, he is. He's younger. I would say, though, that, I was telling people, don't underestimate this dude's capacity to be entertaining and funny, because I've heard him give interviews. The dude is very clever. Kevin Knight.
Oh, yeah.
He's super clever and he's super left field kind of funny. So this dude is going to be a massive fucking star.
I was going to say, I don't want them to have a fight, because then Kevin Knight won't be on Speedball's flop. And I can't see them together, and that's what I want. They bring me so much joy together.
One of my favorite matches from this year was Kevin Knight versus Mao in New Japan, just because both of them are so entertaining, but they're both athletes. They're it is a quote unquote comedy spots in the match, but it's also just them putting on a show, and they're both fun. You could see their humor in the wrestling, you could see their humor outside the ring, and he gets it. Kevin Knight gets, not to take anything away from Speedball. Speedball's amazing. Speedball's the kind of wrestler where you're just I need to introduce somebody to wrestling. Look at Speedball.
Right. Right.
That is
He's
the kind of
Orange
person.
Cassidy.
Yes, where you're here's some clips of Speedball and everyone's just holy shit, look at Speedball.
Right. Well, and what's funny about Speedball is he instinctively understands everything you're gonna think about him when you first see him, and then he just plays into it. It's you look at him, and the first thing I ever thought of was Karate Kid. And then he does the fucking crane kick in a match, and it's just that makes a lot of sense, dude, because that's what I think of when I see you. The mullet, all of it.
It would be one thing if he wasn't amazing, but every move he does whips ass.
Right.
So it's just the Karate Kid gimmick, the Ninja Turtles, the whole 80s kung fu-ness of Speedball Mike Bailey shines through because he is amazing at what he's doing. He could just be a guy who comes out and is just I could do kicks. He could be a comedy character, but no, he's gonna kick you hard, and you gotta watch out.
Yeah. No, it took me a minute too, because I saw Speedball. I saw a few PWG matches he had done. I saw some stuff from him in TNA, but I never watched him on a weekly basis. And I think that's how you really fall in love with Speedball, is you see him over and over again. And you see the character that he really is, which is this, he's this rugged guy who's in this kind of soft looking shell. And there's an aggression to Speedball that I think you only really understand by seeing him regularly.
He's an anime protagonist.
Yes, he is.
He has that sort of soft. I mean, you listen to Speedball talk, and you're just like, man, I could fall asleep listening to Speedball, reading.
I know.
And like Speedball's not tall, not huge, but like Speedball could kick your head off your shoulders if you needed him to. He's very much like the sort of like Gohan or Midoriya type, where it's just like, here's the soft-spoken guy, but if you piss him off, you are in for it. Like, don't do not underestimate him.
You have fucked up now. That is absolutely true. So this match, one other note I had about Speedball and Kevin Knight was this match felt like, when I was a kid, I always thought it would be cool if like the Road Warriors like had a match, and they would never do that. And I understand it as an adult because like you're going to kill the vibe of the Road Warriors if one of them wins. You don't want to do that. Demolition, I remember the Royal Rumble where they were number 1 and 2 and they just beat the shit out of each other. There was no like backing off and like being cute about it. They just kicked each other's ass. I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And these two just going hard at each other, but never like even teasing tension between them.
Right.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
It felt more like a martial arts tournament sort of thing where it's just like we have mutual respect for each other and we are going to hit each other as hard as possible, but like we still like this is just a test of our skills against each other. And like it didn't feel like, it never felt like either one of them had the upper hand the entire time.
Right.
So like when Speedball pulls out the win, it's like, oh my goodness, he really had to work for it. Like storytelling, but
yeah, totally. Well, and we're going to talk all about storytelling later, folks. You just strap yourselves in because we're not going to go to the AEW doesn't tell stories department. We're going way beyond.
I'm sorry. They don't.
That's what I meant. Like, we're not going there. We're going way beyond there. We're going to go even harder with that criticism.
Yeah.
But on Dynamite this week, Mox and Roddy just casually have a 19.5-minute banger that I wanted Roddy to win because I love where Mox is right now as a character. It's more interesting than he's been in a long time because you feel like almost anybody could beat him, maybe. And you associate Roddy with Kyle O'Reilly so much, and Kyle fucking stomped him, that you're like, maybe. And also Marina's at ringside, and that's her husband and her work husband,
I just want to know what that drive back to the hotel was like.
Right.
Because if I was Roddy, I'd be yelling at her like, your stupid work husband, what the F? You guys need to get divorced. You're my wife. You're at ringside for him.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. And she doesn't look ever conflicted. She's like, nah, fuck you, Roddy. She's just like, fuck you, bud.
She's the mother of his child. And
right.
She's like, go.
Yeah. Well, and so they really set you up to where you're like, okay, I can see this going to a draw. Roddy's kicked out of everything Mox can throw at him generally. It really just hit his finisher twice. That's what he had to do.
Yeah.
And he does pin Roddy. Roddy's out as far as like mathematically, there's no way for him to win.
Yeah.
And I get, keeping John strong. I still think Roddy could pull a big upset somewhere and be a spoiler for somebody else down in the Gold League. But I get keeping Mox in it up to this point. He is probably the biggest name in the tournament still, as far as the average fan goes. But really fun match. I mean, it maybe wasn't as like standout as some of the other matches or some of the big upsets, but it was a great match. It was just really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you were saying about his character, because he delivered, like everyone's been delivering their backstage promos after they do their matches. And I do find Moxley's like current, I guess, character, because he essentially has not changed like since he started the Death Riders. Like his whole thing is just like, I'm going to bring the best out of everyone. It just depends on how he's going to do it. Like when he started the Death Riders and they were like fucking choking out Bryan Danielson and shooting people in the street or whatever the fuck they were doing.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Like it was like it's just like this is a dark time. Like we are in a dark time.
Yeah,
and you
This
are
is
gonna
the
feel
darkest
some,
timeline.
yeah, you are gonna feel some bad emotions and seeing his evolution, like being this obscene villain, and then like Hangman finally knocks him off, and you still have to keep him around to do something. He's Moxley. He's one of the founders, essentially, of AEW. Like he wasn't there at the very beginning, but like he is an essential part of the company. And to watch them transition him into, like people say, like, oh, the Death Riders are gonna turn on Moxley at any moment, and like they're just like, well, maybe he's not. Like maybe he is like the actual leader of the Death Riders that he is trying to be. He is trying to show that even in loss, like you could still carry on, but you still need to be who you are. Like he told that to Chris Statlander, like before she won the women's title. Like you have to be who you are. Like, and I think that's what this whole year has been essentially. Like, and the C2 being the tapping off point of the year with World End, like that feels like they just are like everything is just coming to not a close, but more stuff. Like you could see all the stories coming to an end, and you could see the new ones sprouting from that. And there's a bunch of mystery around it too. Like what could happen next?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, and they've been playing with that tension too. I mean, they know that we all expect something to happen, and then nothing happens, and then you're like, well, what the fuck what are you know? And it's like, and they've shown me, and this is one of the things I'm most grateful for in 2025. I finally understand what edging is, and that's because of this storyline. And I just want to say, Tony Khan, thank you so much. I'm really starting to get it, you know, to really get it. But
Tony really likes teasing us.
He does. But, you know, I think the more I've thought about it, if the Death Riders just turned on Mox, like after the Darby thing, which is what I thought would happen, right? The Darby would be the one to take the Death Riders down. It feels so basic compared to where they've gone since then, you know, which is like Moxley is like, okay, I've been humbled, but so fucking what, you know? Like, what did he say on the show this week? He said, like, if you have to be doing great in order to like look at yourself in the mirror, you suck, you know, like he's like, you have to be able to look in the mirror no matter who you are. Right. And he's like, he is kind of starting to give these more tweener almost kind of vibes.
It's what he's always been. Like it's the same thing with Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Like there are two guys, I mean, they were tag team partners in AEW a few years back, but they are two guys who are just like, you, like, no matter how much you hate yourself, like no matter how much shit you have been through in your life, like you still have to get up in the morning and look yourself in the face and like live with your actions. And that's like Moxley's whole story. And now he is essentially living with his action. He has lost multiple times. He doesn't have the belt anymore. People are confused about what his, like, where he stands. They don't know about the Death Riders. Like, it's just all these questions in the air. And that's what, like, not to jump the gun on storytelling, but that's what storytelling is. Like, you're not supposed to know all the beats. Like, you're not supposed to, like, you are able to look at things and pick out, like, maybe this will happen, maybe this will happen. But you can't just, well, I wanted this to happen, it didn't happen, so that means it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Not how storytelling works, ever,
right?
Because people make stories, and you're not every person,
right? No, and I think the surprise is part of it, and AEW certainly proven this year that even if something looks like it's a surprise for the sake of a surprise, it's not. They have more coming, and I think that, you know, even the fucking money matches, which by like August this year, I was starting to go like, do we need to keep doing these? Like, do we need? And then they turned that into the Young Bucks' entire story, you know? And so I'm just like, dude, I'm no like, I don't think I can question, like, when can I definitively say this didn't work anymore? Because Tony Khan is playing the long game all the time, and he's fucking with me.
Like, it's that's the thing I realized early with AEW is that you can't just expect them to give you the answer right away.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever you're going to get along the way, like, you're still, like, if you don't like the story, like, that's fine. Like, it's totally fine to not like something. But if you're angry about it, like, if you're legitimately mad about something, like, just stop watching. Like, don't engage with it. It's that easy.
Or
like, find something else that you do enjoy,
or take a week off or something. You know,
like, find something else. Like, if you're finding your hackles up all the time about wrestling, which, like, yes, you are going to feel an emotional attachment to wrestling. Like, you're supposed to. That's how art works. You're supposed to feel something. But if you're like all the time, then you need to fucking log off and go outside.
Yeah, leave the app Twitter. It will make you feel so much better. And then books, you know, fancy be surprised, okay? Because these two relative unknowns, Kyle Fletcher and Pac?
Who?
To my great
Pac?
surprise.
I honestly,
I had the same question.
The guy out there right now is not Pac. So.
Right. He's wearing a shirt. He's wearing something over his chest. And then
he's got short hair.
I don't know who this man is.
He's a lot drier than he's been in the past.
I
think they started having him do the towel because they're trying to explain why he's so dry.
I don't like it.
I've been having a towel for 5 years, so they just got.
I've been having words with my lover about this because he needs to do something
with Tony.
So,
yeah,
Tony. Yeah.
I don't know. I think this glow up for Pac is actually starting to really work out. I'm enjoying him as kind of this like mat based kind of sadist who occasionally just whips out all the shit he can do, which he did in this match. It's like, you don't see this guy just doing fucking shooting star presses all the time anymore. He just did everything in this match with Fletcher. He's in Manchester. He's in front of a home audience. You know, he's in front of a friendly crowd. These guys just ripped it the fuck up. Insane, crazy shit. Books?
I'm just going to request, as a woman, can you at least take his shirt off?
I think, you know, like, do it at least during the match. Like, you can wear the shirt out there, but take it off at some point. Yeah, straps down.
I watch wrestling because of this. Like, come on, it's not for anything else.
Yeah, totally. It's Pac's boobs. It is.
It is.
That is the reason.
Do you want to know how I introduce a lot of my women friends to wrestling?
Yes.
By showing them a shirtless man or a woman, not shirtless, but like just showing them a wrestler I think they'd be attracted to. And they're just like, yeah, I get this now. And then they watch it like, they're doing cool moves.
Me and Finn Balor, that is how I got, like,
there you go.
Started watching WWE, because I was like, okay, Demon Finn Balor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we all know that now it's Kenny.
Yes. Well, I think, and Kenny is like the ultimate breaker of human beings, because I'm not gay. Like, I sound like Max Caster right now. Like, I'm not gay, but we're all into Kenny. Like, I mean,
it's Kenny sexual. I mean, like,
I'm not gay either, but have you seen Kenny Omega?
Yeah. And he's like his best friend's Kota Ibushi, and I'm like,
I know
what's happening to me right now. I'm not exactly sure.
Entire wall.
Yeah,
it's a shrine to Kenny.
Yeah, it's just like two beautiful people who just transcend gender entirely. But Pac and Kyle Fletcher have a great fucking match. The chemistry that these two had with each other was fucking crazy. The near falls were all believable. I think, you know, something that you have to give Kyle Fletcher, and this is something that only he could really do, no matter what kind of push he got. He was the favorite, you know, in a match with Pac, who is a wrestler's wrestler, as good as they come.
Yeah.
And Fletcher's the favorite. Fletcher actually gave Pac credibility in this match.
Mm-hmm.
Pac kicked out of everything. Terrence?
I have been a avid AEW watcher since the beginning. So I've seen all the permutations of Pac at least in AEW. And now is like, he's always been a terrifying individual, but like him like, I guess locking in, like him putting on the straps, like having, like he just looks so much. He doesn't look like a wrestler anymore. Like before, he looked like a wrestler, like a guy that you would see in a wrestling ring. Now he just looks like a villain, like a villain, a movie villain. Like he's just gonna, like, this is the guy they call out at the end of the movie to finally put somebody down. He's terrifying.
Yeah. And he's tiny. He's small.
Yeah. He's a small man, but I'm afraid of him.
Yes.
But also I love him dearly because he's just great. You ever seen pictures of him outside of the wrestling ring? It's a completely different person.
It's so weird. Like, dude, like him wearing like these weird, like open leg jeans and stuff. It's like
him wearing Christmas sweaters is one of my favorite things.
It's terrifying. And wearing like reading like glasses and stuff. It's wild. It's like he looks like a human being, which I'm not comfortable
Not
with.
me going to look.
Yeah,
and like here we go.
Yeah.
No,
there's a picture of him from last year with Finn Balor. Like him and Finn Balor
Yes,
posing.
I just saw that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
this is not the same person. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got some other mind fucking breaking news. Pac isn't even his real name. His real name is Benjamin.
He doesn't look.
Can
like,
you look at him and imagine
like Benjamin?
Calling this guy? His parents call him Pac. Okay, like there's genuine fear that comes out of everyone in his presence.
Like, see, that's going to go up there with Seth Rollins being Kobe.
Right.
Like, and names that do not match a person.
Finn Balor's real name is Fergal Devitt, which like kind of feels
I
like
refuse to acknowledge that.
That seems like it would be Pac's name, like because Pac doesn't seem like a real person,
right?
And Fergal Devitt does not seem like a real name, so it's just like, oh, this is my D&D character, Fergal Devitt. And you look like that's who that would be, and you would like, this is Benjamin, and you would look at Finn Balor, and you're just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Pac doesn't look like a real person, and Fergal Devitt doesn't sound like a real name. Anyway, Pac fucking wins. Okay, I think he just wins. He wins. It's fucking awesome. It's a clean victory. Fletcher loses nothing in losing other than the points he would have gotten. But
yeah,
right now the brackets are very interesting. Okay, so in the Gold League, you got Okada with 6 points. He is going to be wrestling Kevin Knight, I believe, on Collision. You got Fletcher with 6 points as well. You've got Pac with 6 points as well. You got Speedball with 6 points as well. And then you've got Kevin Knight with 3 and Jack Perry with 0. Meanwhile, moving over to the Blue League, Claudio and Takeshita sit above the fray with 7 each. Mox has 6, Orange Cassidy has 6, Mascara Dorada has 3, and Roderick Strong has still been shut out to this point. It's wild. It's wild. I forgot. I forget every time during the C2 that it doesn't go on forever. So I'm like,
it ends like next week.
It ends next week, and they're gonna do this at World's End, which is a week from Saturday, the day that most people might be listening to this. So wild. But the C2, this is my favorite year of it so far. I really do think it's roster wise, when you look at it, there's no Bryan Danielson or Eddie or whatever, but these matches have been crazy.
You gotta put the future stars in there. I mean, current stars, technically. Like you could just build the bracket up with just like every well-known star, but like having your Speedballs, having your Jack Perrys, having your Kevin Knight, Mascara Dorada being a very welcome surprise. He's only 24.
Jesus.
Like seeing him now made me excited to see him in 10 years. Because it's just like, if he's this good now, he teams with Mystico, like the greatest luchador right now. Like, you gotta have these guys in there to show what they can do. but it doesn't feel like they're pushing them to like in front of the audience, just be like, you have to like these guys now. It's just like, no, we're going to let them do their thing. And that's how they get over, which is strange to the American wrestling audience for some reason. I don't know.
Do you remember
maybe there's 30 years of a certain wrestling company.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you saw Hechicero? And you're just like, who is this fucking weirdo?
Yeah.
And then he wrestles Bryan Danielson and makes Danielson look like he doesn't know how to wrestle. Yes. And Danielson's like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like Danielson put him over so hard. He was just like, this guy's way better than me. I don't even know what to do. And he manages to squeak out a win, but just by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah.
And now Hechicero's like, every time he comes out, I know I'm going to get the beautiful erotic hand motions with him and Don Callis. And then you get also his rip-off Monday Night Raw theme from like 1996. People are always like, I fucking love this song. I'm like, you would have loved the Monday Night Raw song. You really would have. But, he's like one of my favorite guys to see now because he's so unique and interesting. And Mascara Dorada, him and Bandito. Look, if Bandito hadn't wrestled Takeshita and Hechicero later in the year, they might have had match of the year in CMLL because that match was fucking amazing. But yeah, you're right. Mascara Dorada is 24 years old. That's insane.
Yeah. Very excited for his future, current, like just everything. Like, I mean, everybody in this league, I'm just looking at, I'm just like, man, I want to see all these guys wrestle.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's
right.
I just want to watch them.
Yeah. So when we come back, Books, I think you got to lead us off. I think you got to start this conversation. We're going to be talking about three fellows that you may have heard of, but we'll get into it when we come back. All right, we're back. And Books, these three fellows that I mentioned, the three wise men, you might say.
I'm so happy because the Elite are back.
Yes.
They are back. They had a match. However, they're on my shit list.
Yeah.
Because how dare you not come out to carry on my wayward son? But I'm, you know what? At the end of the day, we got Kenny and the Bucks together in a ring as the Elite, and AEW just feels right when the Elites are together, considering that the Elite in All Elite Wrestling is because of the three of them.
You know what's wild to me is Kenny is my singles GOAT, right? Like, I think he's the most compelling wrestler I've ever seen. The Bucks are legit my favorite tag team of all time. I've never seen a tag team that I'm like more excited to see than the Young Bucks. And together, they are like the best trio I can think of.
It's God level. It's a God level trio.
When they were having those money matches during the summer and Kenny was wrestling against them, those matches were incredible. Just absolutely stunning. And them together, their opponents were, some fucking jabronis, Okada, Takeshita, Hechicero,
Just some randos that pulled off the street.
That whoever that bald man with the scar is leading, like... Oh.
Yeah, I don't think Joshi G is listening to the show right now because she just, had a child. But healthy child, by the way. Just wanted to make that clear. Joshi had a very healthy child. Beautiful, beautiful baby. But she's not listening right now. And honestly, her family situation has changed. I'm not sure if the whole thing with Don will continue beyond her having a child because Don wants complete focus on him and his goals. So who's to say?
Don is the baby.
Are we finally accepting that Don Callis is selfish and Kenny did nothing wrong?
Well, I'm not ready to go there. I mean, Kenny could have given him more respect. But anyway, what I was really blown away by was that the Elite made these fucking jobbers look fucking great. You know what I mean? Like, fucking
Which is
Okada
what the
and
Elite do.
Takeshita. They've carried these guys. And then
Carried them.
Hechicero, poor Hechicero, like you're looking at literally like he's been CMLL world champion. You're looking at the IWGP world champion, the unified champion who's been the most decorated IWGP champion of all time. And you just know Hechicero's eating the pin in this thing. Like there's no fucking way it goes any other direction.
He went out the best way possible.
Yes.
With the Meltzer driver. Like Kenny gets him
one
up in the one wing, one wing Meltzer, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Kenny gets him in that move, and you just like, if I was a wrestler, I'd be like, if I was going to get pinned, I want to be pinned via the one wing angel anyway.
Yeah.
Because like, what an honor.
What an honor. Yeah. No, to take the one winged angel. I mean, like that was insane. Just a crazy match. I loved the ending where Don Callis doesn't want to give up the money. And it takes, who was it that finally chased him and Don finally gave up the money? It was Jurassic Express, I believe, finally came out to help the Elite not be destroyed by the Don Callis family. Kenny ran some attackers off with an actual broom because he's the cleaner.
The cleaner we might be getting cleaner Kenny, which is like,
I'd be fine with that.
This man has come to the ring with a broom covered in barbed wire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are we going to get like a morally gray kind of Elite where they're not necessarily baby faces, but they're also like, they're not necessarily heels and they could go either way? Because that's the best Elite, is when they're neither.
I think they're always kind of morally gray. I think Kenny is definitely leaning into being like the white meat, like baby face in a way that I've never seen him do before. But, looking at the very end of your career possibly happening because of diverticulitis might change your perspective.
I think you need to stop saying that because
I'm just saying the diverticulitis could have ended his career. He came back.
It could have, but it didn't.
But
it
didn't.
He's here.
I apologize, Books. I've stepped too far. I understand.
Go, start my crash out.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. The Young Bucks have $1 million. And so the money matches ended up paying off massively. It was a major part of their career. The Broke Bucks are one of my favorite of all time.
That was, oh my goodness. Every pay-per-view they would come out, or every show they would come out, and they would just have like a different entrance just because production didn't put any time or effort into it. It was just...
Yep. Them coming out to Mbop was...
If you watched one of my latest TikToks, I would say I don't think the Bucks have gotten enough credit for this run because they've literally, they just take everything trolls have to say about them and turn it into a gimmick. They have too much power. They become keys. They're not creative. They don't remember their roots. And this entire time we've seen this Broke Bucks thing has been a love letter to their indie days and leading back up to the reunion, the reunion of the Elite. And that's why I think they deserve Tag Team of the Year, because no one else could have made a fall from grace this fucking entertaining.
I agree. And, that's the thing is, that's so like, okay, we have two kind of withering criticisms of these Sports Illustrated awards, which is they gave the wrong pay-per-view the show of the year, and the Young Bucks could have been Tag Team of the Year. I also think Toni Storm could have been Female Wrestler of the Year.
Female Wrestler. But Mercedes is doing a lot for wrestling.
They were trying not to give one person too much. It's clear to me that was the case.
Can I touch on one last thing about the Elite back together?
Please.
So we see how much fun they've been having together in ring against each other. But you can just tell with this match on Wednesday how happy they were to be on the same side.
Yeah.
Like, there's just such a, genuine, happiness. I still think back to when Kenny made his return, and you just see Matt smirking because he's just so happy his friend is back.
Yeah. And they're supposed to be enemies. Right.
It just, there was no other words. They had a blast together, more than they have this entire year.
I mean, if you already love your job and then you get to love your job while you're with your friends, like what's better?
The genuine love between these guys is so awesome. You know, like Kenny is like their brother for all intents and purposes. He really is. And it comes through whether it's in kayfabe or not.
Kind of the same with him and Okada, because they're clearly gearing up for round 6.
Yeah.
And Omega and Okada in the ring together just are magic. Like, you can just see the love they have for each other. They bring out the best in each other, the absolute best.
Come back to what I said about Jon Moxley, about him continuing to be the same character in a different permutation. You can see that same thing. I mean, you can see that with a lot of the characters in AEW. Like, you don't absolutely hate the Young Bucks, even though they've been dicks for 2 or 3 years at this point, because like they also made you laugh. They put on good matches. Like, they are entertaining to a point that the more villainous, like the Don Callis family or the Death Riders, is not. So like, you see the stuff they're doing, you're just like, yikes. Like that's like real villain stuff. While the Young Bucks are more like Hulk and Skull level villainy,
right?
Where they're just like douchebags. They're just like, I have more money than you, and I better do this. And like, it's just like Matt and Nick are so good at being just like shitty little guys, just like poking and prodding.
Pompous assholes.
Like,
pompous assholes.
Yeah, like yes, that yeah, like Nick. I love the Young Bucks. Like, there's no doubt, but like Nick Jackson is just one of the funniest guys in wrestling. Everything that he does, like when he's talking on BTE, and he's just like when you hear him in the ring, like yell, like when he gets like thrown through a table or something, and he's just like over being very over dramatic.
Yeah,
he's just the funniest guy, and he doesn't act like it. And you don't, like, when you look at the Young Bucks, they don't really look like how you would expect them to act.
Not at all. But
they lean into it to a comedic degree, which helps get them over, because you're expecting, it's a speedball thing. Like, you get what you're expecting, but they do it so well that it's just like, well.
Right. It's even more than you expected.
There's a reason why they're doing this.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they're considered one of the best tag teams, and that's literally why. Like, and every time I watch them in the ring, like, I said this on Wednesday, I said, I don't understand how anyone could watch Matt and Nick in the ring and think the Young Bucks suck as wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like, they're just fucking incredible. And we all know how I feel about Kenny, so I'm not even going there.
The German suplex spot they did in the match where Matt flips over Nick to pull Nick to do the German suplex, like,
what the fuck?
That's when I said
Insane.
it. I was like, how do people say they suck? Like they are so good in ring.
Well, the Bucks, by leaning into that criticism, people don't get it. Like, it's a gimmick, guys. And watching all these fucking nerds act like that's who they really are is hilarious.
Yeah.
They don't get that they're trolling them. They are literally trolling the haters. They have taken this and made it into a gimmick. And I love them for that. Like, Matt and Nick, love you.
Even funnier to me is that they're not like coy about like them being like pointing at stuff and being like I'm making fun of you for doing this. Like, they are specifically saying that on their show. And people are still just like, these guys are stupid. I don't get it.
Right. It's like, someone is stupid. And
you're being spoon-fed and you don't get it.
Yeah. Someone is definitely not smart in this equation between you and the two Young Bucks. And it's you. You are a dumbass. And you have just confirmed for me that you think that this is who they really are.
Right. Hannibal Buress has this old joke where he talks about being stuck in a conversation with somebody who said something stupid. And he goes, it was like, I don't know if I'm stupid or you're stupid, but one of us has to die. And that's like how I feel about being online.
It's so true. It's so true. Quick thing to touch on real quick, but I got to because it's about my child. Okay. My wrestling son, Bandito, and Ricochet are going to fucking wrestle on fucking Dynamite next week. What the fuck?
When I realized that was going to be the end of the match, I was just like, we're going to get Ricochet versus Bandito. And like, I don't even know who I want to win that match.
Right. It's understandable in a variety of different ways, you know?
Right.
Because, like, if Bandito were to lose, my thing is, like, does that give us any idea of how this four-way turns out, right? Because if Ricochet wins, you would figure it would probably be a babyface champion he'd be challenging, right?
Right.
If Bandito wins, you'd think it would be a heel champion that he'd be challenging. But Tony Khan has proven time and time again that he doesn't give a shit about that stuff.
It gives the entire, I mean, I know we're in the C2 right now, but it gives the company an entire like tournament feel to it to have, because if you don't have your baby faces like fighting for honor against other baby faces, like, I mean, Ring of Honor, they own Ring of Honor. Like that's
right.
Like
kind of an important part of the deal.
Yeah, I was going to say like AEW is like the extension of like Ring of Honor, PWG. Like you can, it really has that sort of, I've said this since the beginning, it has this Street Fighter feel of like, you could feel all of the world warriors coming together to have this tournament, but the tournament is every week and it's on TV and I get to watch it and Tony Khan pays for it. And it's like it's clearly somebody who has a vision for what they want to do. And if you watch enough wrestling, just like seeing, I mean, you've got just looking at Bandito versus Ricochet, like you have Bandito who is a trained luchador. Ricochet is from America, like he's from Kentucky, like what, like but they're very similar styles, like high flyers, but strong. Except for Bandito is like unhumanly strong,
right,
like an insane, frankly, an insane individual. But like you can see, like you can picture in your mind's eye, like what's going to happen in this match. You could picture in your mind's eye, like, oh, what if, like, if Ricochet wins, he gets the ring, he challenges, like he could go up against any of those guys, Ricochet. And the demand, like him having the backup against the Ops if Samoa Joe retains. Like Swerve and Hangman are a sort of team now. Like if they go against like this, do they have backup for when they have their championship match? Does Bandito, does he get the match and he beats whoever? Like there's just so many believable outcomes to just these two matches. And this is just for the men's World Championship. Like you also have Ricochet's National Championship. You also have Bandito's ROH Championship. There's so many like factors that could bleed out from this. Like if Ricochet loses, does he give a match to Bandito for the national title or something like that? Just like a bunch of stuff that should get you excited about being a fan. But if you look at the internet, that's not always the case. But also, don't look at you can look at the internet. Just learn how to block people. Just, like, don't like, if somebody even slightly annoys you, just get rid of them. Like, I insult Blade at least once a week.
100.
Like, but that's because he's like, he's the nicest guy. I don't have anything bad to say about him, genuinely. But like, any insult I give is just like so over the top that it's just like it can't possibly be taken seriously. And like, but like on a just a mutual level, like I feel like we respect each other and like we could goof around and joke like that.
Sure.
And if you're not having that kind of relationship with just like casual friends online, like you don't have to hang around that person. Like,
right.
You could just excise that person. You don't have to follow them anymore. You don't have to talk to them. There are so many people on this earth that you could find so many other friends. It's really not that hard.
It's so true. Yeah. It's so true. And I do block and mute with impunity. Like I'm just like, you're being annoying right now. Like just Mute.
I restricted someone because they pissed
You
me
like
off
to
so
fight with
much.
people.
I love to fight with people. Do not get me wrong. But I did restrict someone the other day because he just pissed me off so much because he kept thinking he was making points. And I was like, I'm restricting you. You can't tag me. You're muted. I'm not going to block you because I think that's what you want. I'm just going to make it so you can't get in touch with me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes me think of that, like whenever somebody is just like being an asshole to me, or like just like somebody who's annoying online, it's not even like I get mad at them. I just think of that Scott Pilgrim part where he's looking at his emails. He's like, this is boring.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have this. I have other things to do. I don't care I'm not having this conversation with you.
Totally.
See, I just like fighting with people and being mean to people. I don't know because mind you, being a woman is a very different. I get a lot of misogynist takes.
100%. Yeah.
So I like.
Don't worry, I've
gotten
gotten plenty of racism online.
Yeah.
Like just being mean has just. Men don't really like these misogynist men. Not all men, I know. Really don't like it when you know what you're talking about.
Having dealt with the racism online, like people are just like they expect something different from you, and you're just like, no, I'm actually smarter than you. Also, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think, and you could die. I don't like. It's just like,
yeah. I really, ever since I started Books Jackson, which is my male alter ego,
right?
I'm waiting for one man to tell me to go into the kitchen because I already have a pre-made video telling them to make me a sandwich as a man.
You've anticipated.
I really, really want someone to do it.
I wish a motherfucker would. Yeah,
like
totally.
Let's go.
No, it's, I think the thing is like people, the truth about trolling and all that stuff, or the my promotion better stuff. People are so genuinely terrified of even the idea of confrontation that if you just confront what they say head on, most people just like fucking bounce. They're just like, they are fucking terrified of somebody actually seeing through their bullshit and just calling them on it. And yeah, it's funny because over time, like, on the apps that I use the most anyway, like most people won't fuck with me at this point because it's just like, yeah, dude, I don't really care. Like, just don't care. But yes, definitely being a woman in the pro wrestling space, definitely being somebody who's not a white mediocre man in the wrestling space is definitely a much different experience.
It's not for the weak.
Yes.
Can I say one issue I have with the ring right now?
Yes.
Is that there's no MJF involved in this. And if you know Long Island, you know that MJF just fits the diamond ring. And it bothers me. That's all I'm going to say. I have a hard time seeing Ricochet or Bandito wearing the ring. So.
I was going to mention that. So they've changed the gimmick, right? Where it's like having the ring isn't just like you get it to cheat with when you want to, because then only a heel can win it, would win it, typically. This is for a world title shot, right? And so MJF doesn't need to win this thing to get a world title shot, as he proved, obviously. But he could still just wear a gaudy ass ring. And I did notice that when he came out on Dynamite, which we're about to talk about, he was wearing a ring on the same finger that was giant and gaudy and might even be the Dynamite Diamond ring.
It was a Dynamite ring. Yeah,
I'm very interested to see where they go with that, to see if there's any MJF involvement at all. But I think having him win it 5 years in a row was that's a good place to cap it, I think. Like, if you're going to keep this concept around.
It just fits his character.
It does, but he's rich.
Fits his character.
We all know he's rich and would eagerly flaunt having a giant ring on his finger. He could just buy a Dynamite Diamond ring,
I hope he does, because
they sell them on shopaew.com.
I just need the man who touts that he's from Long Island needs to wear the ring. He needs to wear it.
He does. He does.
My really bad Long Island accent, because.
And you're from New York.
I'm from Westchester.
Okay.
They call us upstate, okay? I'm closer to New York City than they are. So there you go.
Okay, I've stepped on a nerve here.
Disappear slowly into the Long Island Sound. Okay.
All right. Well, we're talking about him already. Might as well mention that probably the feature of Dynamite this week was, it was announced as like a signing between Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe, that they were going to fight in a triple threat match. They have the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal going on this show. Kay, who's been on the show as a host, who's a good Sickos Club friendo, had said to me specifically, that will be the night MJF comes back. She said it like a week or two ahead of time. Somehow I completely forgot that.
I'm going to give AEW credit because we all expected him to come back during the gauntlet. So this was a complete and utter, like, actual, like, we all knew he was coming back as they announced the gauntlet. Like,
right.
The diamond ring is MJF's, like, thing. Like, okay, he's definitely coming out. I was genuinely shocked when the lights went out and then you hear his music playing. And I was like, okay, where are we going with this?
I was like, when the lights went out, I was like, who would come out with the lights?
I thought it was Ospreay.
Yeah. I couldn't tell.
I'm like, is it Bray Wyatt? No, never mind. No, it was
Mr. Black's back. That's Tommy End.
Yeah, hey, look, Malachi. But yeah, no, it really, it was weird. So they give the three of them, spend time bantering back and forth, and it's a great promo. Like, everybody kills it. Everybody kills it. And then they all sign the contract, and Tony Schiavone's like, well, it's official, and that's it. And if that had been the end, I would have been like, that was a great fucking promo, Right. Let's do World's End. Let's do it.
In the biz.
Yeah. They made everybody feel like a big player. I thought that was, and then the lights go out, and I start thinking, and I know this sounds like bullshit, but like right before they came back on, I was like, oh wait, MJ, and then the lights come back on. And it's his music, and the pop was unfucking believable, thunderous pop.
Yeah,
and these man chests
for comeback.
And again, like this, these people don't get AEW just whenever. They get it like once or twice a year, and they're there to make the most of it.
Right.
And so he gets this huge fucking pop. He's strolling down to ringside. His hair, his this like shadow that he's got going on. This motherfucker looks as smooth as I've ever seen him look.
I have never been attracted to MJF until the other night, where I was like, who is this man?
That was my first thought. My first thought was, oh, he finally got his hair under control.
Yeah, he got it figured out. He got it dyed properly. It looks real good. Looks very Hollywood.
He's in a properly tailored suit.
Yes. And he comes out and he cuts a promo that I really felt. This is MJF being back in AEW, not MJF who's going to like disappear for another few months. Mm-hmm. He's like, he's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no other filming. There's no other commitments. This is the MJF we know and love. And it felt like it's our MJF. This is our scumbag.
Yeah. And he comes in and he immediately cashes in his Casino Gauntlet guaranteed world title shot. It becomes a 4-way match. He does that before he even says anything. And then he proceeds to absolutely destroy everybody in that ring. He trashes Samoa Joe, trashes Swerve, compares him to P. Diddy when I was like, don't do this, Max. What? Don't do this. And he tries to get the crowd to chant P. Diddy, and thankfully the syllables just don't work out. Because I'm like, don't do that to a top guy like Swerve. Please don't do that.
No.
But he's calling him Shane, and I thought that was a nice touch because when I saw Swerve for the first time, it was in Defy, and his name was Shane Swerve Strickland. I mean, that's how he was billed. So I'm used to him being called Shane, and that's funny because Shane isn't even his real name. And he's actually starts off by calling, Hangman Seabiscuit. And he, like I said, he looks like a guy who's planning to wrestle full time for a while. I was kind of shocked, and I don't know if either of you had this experience. I saw a ton of hatred for MJF on social media after this. Like, oh, like this one person who was being very histrionic who got blocked. Oh, they were doing so good with the C2 tournament. They ruined it all now. You know, like, and I saw enough people posting like that I'm like, really? Like, really? You didn't hear that pop?
Yeah.
Some people just can't be happy. Then they're the same ones who get mad at you for being unhappy.
That was probably actually the shortest MJF promo that he's had.
At just 27 minutes. Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, as somebody who has watched AEW from the beginning and has, like, my biggest criticism of MJF has been, boy, does he talk a lot and just kind of, like, circle around the same things. This one was very snappy. Like, he had an objective, take down all three guys, say that he's here. Like, I felt like this went a lot better than a lot of his other promos.
Yeah. And
that one in particular that I have not forgotten about.
The Jeff Jarrett promo.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one I still have issues with.
Yeah. The last really huge fuck up that AEW made was that promo. And
actually, basically, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I was thinking about that the other day, and
I wonder if that's why some people haven't moved on from that. And that's why he gets shit. But like, it's MJF. Like, MJF is literally like,
he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's a heel for a reason. Like,
right. And if you just
he's a natural
shut
heel.
up and let this thing be what it's going to be, you'll probably end up being very entertained.
Like, it's one thing for something to be in bad taste, and then like they never linger on something if something is done in bad taste, which is the thing I appreciate. Like, that's why I can't ever stay too mad about something for too long, because it's just like it kind of goes away pretty quickly. Like,
right.
And that went away quickly.
Yeah.
They
immediately,
changed course, like immediately.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen AEW swerve that quickly.
That's just the whole thing. It's just like I can't imagine. Like, I can understand not liking a wrestler.
Sure,
like,
right.
There's plenty of wrestlers I don't like, but like I don't really care to hear MJF talk all that often, because he does talk an awful lot.
Right.
And I don't know how much of I am a angry white boy and these are my problems. Like, I don't know how much of that I could personally deal with, just because like I've known that guy. Like, I know who he is. And like, I really wish they would kind of lean into his insecurity more, because him being just, I'm going to come in, I'm going to tell everybody that you're a jerk, and I'm going to jerk my dick off and then leave. Like he doesn't really get his comeuppance as much as you think he should for being as big of a dick as he is. Like, because like you saw the downfall of the Young Bucks, and they were massive jerks, but you never see the same thing for MJF. And so like that's I guess my issue with him. I really don't. I want to say, I guess that's my criticism, but it's not so much a criticism as just like, whatever, he could do whatever he wants. I don't shit.
Yeah, I think when his segment takes up a half hour and it's not good, and it's like it just doesn't accomplish enough or whatever, and you realize like we definitely lost a match tonight because of that promo. Like, that is annoying, and he has done that, and I think he is still like the important thing to just keep remembering about MJF. This dude's not 30 years old yet, and he is already, yes, of course he's massively talented. I'm sure he does have a bit of an ego and stuff, but he's also just figuring out what works and what doesn't. There are certain things he leaned really hard into that he still will occasionally do that I'm not a huge fan of. Some of the overtly misogynist stuff. Jeff Jarrett and him was the most like obvious example of like, okay, this is not good. This is like a TNA 2011 promo. I hate this. And, and he does lean into it in other ways sometimes, but he's gotten further away from it. And I am watching this guy kind of mature and grow up a little bit. We don't need the white boy edgelords in the crowd to feel like seen, like they're seen all the time. Like, I think we're good. Yeah,
I'm hoping he has a little bit. I'm expecting a different MJF this time around, because I do think this is an MJF that's here to stay, which I don't think we've really had since his title run.
No.
Well, right. And I think once he lost to Samoa Joe, he had to rehab his injuries, but he also kind of got a bunch of opportunities he probably didn't expect to have. And, he's been equally focused on trying to get that part of his career going, and good for him, I will say all four guys in this segment felt like huge stars.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might complain about the length of this promo, but in my opinion, this promo, you can't look at things in wrestling or any art. There isn't one rule that always works.
Right.
And in this particular instance, a promo of this length, you kind of almost needed it because
it didn't feel like overwrought to me.
No. What are they going to do? Are they going to have a tag match to build this main event? Like MJF comes out and he signs the contract, and then he's like, and Samoa Joe and I are going to beat you fuckers up at the end of the show. Yeah. No, they're not going to do that. This promo was more effective than a match or anything else would have been in setting the tone. And I think MJF, like I said, he feels back. This is wrestler Max that we haven't seen for a while, maybe a year. And he was in put people over mode for the majority of that run. I will give him that. But I think this was okay, the main event, this is the main event. These four guys are the cornerstones of your main event scene in the men's division right now. And they're all going to be in one fucking match, That's a big deal. It's a big deal. Books?
It's going to be great. Normally sometimes I complain when promos are too long. It didn't feel long.
No.
I was literally and when it did, even when it could have felt long, that's when the MJF came out. It was sometimes AEW has a pacing problem. This was paced perfectly.
It was. I thought the swerve too, for lack of a better term, making you think the interview is over and then and then the lights go out and then his music hits. That was chef's kiss. That's just perfect drama, and then he walks out in this fucking awesome looking suit and, he's really put together. This guy just looks like a totally different cat than the guy that got killed by Mark Briscoe,
I also liked how they kept pointing out, there can be no physicality. You guys don't touch each other.
Right.
They said that a lot. And you could feel the animosity between Hangman to Joe, Swerve to Joe. You don't feel the same animosity anymore with Hangman and Swerve. Even though they aren't 100% on the same page, you still don't feel that they're going to explode at any minute. It doesn't.
Well, they're going to explode in a different way. There was a kiss chant. I'm so happy there was a kiss chant.
Yeah.
But Hobbs being back up, it felt it felt like single guy factions kind of coming, the leaders of whatever they're doing coming to a head. So they're going to have this match. Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, the only thing that would have made this any better would have been a dance knife fight, from the Beat It video. But
or Hangman and Swerve kissing.
Okay, we'll get to one of those things eventually. I'm sure of it. But the last thing we have on the agenda is going to happen when we come back, and we're talking. We've been talking about stories. Obviously, AEW doesn't know how to tell any. I mean, look at how short this show has been. We've had nothing to say. So when we come back, we're just going to talk about having nothing to talk about. All right, we're back. And something that I wanted to touch on, I'm trying to have a topic that we get to in the show instead of just recapping, everything with opinions and obviously our red hot takes.
Mm-hmm.
There are these certain moronic people who have been going on for more than half a decade now, saying that AEW doesn't tell stories. That was always untrue. It was never true. Okay. But I would say, aside from a few outliers like Kenny Hangman or Mox and Hangman, even the first time around before this whole Death Riders thing, a couple years ago. Swerve and Hangman, Tony and Mariah, aside from a few outliers, they didn't have necessarily these overarching stories that were super deep, And I think part of the reason that people struggle with it so much is, some of these people are just in bad faith. They don't they don't watch the product. They just are parroting things they hear other people say. But wrestling up until this time was really one-dimensional. And it was like, hey, me and my buddy Matt have a joke about the Big Boss Man. So the Big Boss Man started out as a cop who abused his, the guys he was wrestling. And he beat him with a nightstick. And then he turned babyface. And he still beat jobbers with nightsticks. And I was like... This is a confusing moral. You know what I mean? Like, this is, he's against the right people, so he's allowed to do this now. Like, that's weird. That's weird. But that's what wrestling was for a long time. It was just like, hey, you're against the guys we don't like, so now you're a babyface. And that will cheer you. And within a month, they're like egging the crowd, oh, come on, stay with me. What did the FTRs have to do? Yeah, come on. That's what RJ got them to do.
Yeah, when they're on his,
yeah, come on.
Getting fired up.
Yeah. And eventually, it didn't matter who the heel was. They were doing, yeah, come on. And so AEW doesn't do that, right? They don't forget anything that happened. I remember one time when Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy came face to face after not being around each other for a long time. But they're both baby faces and they give each other the 1,000-mile stare. And I had to think for a minute, oh yeah, they had a whole thing. They had like a feud.
Yeah.
None of that's ever forgotten. And I think what the difference is in AEW is that it's not like a feud is your story. Your career, your entire character is your story. Right. And so none of the stuff we've had you do is insignificant. Even when Hangman ran into the Dark Order, recently on TV, they're like basically like, hey, we kind of like will respect you enough not to attack you, but also like don't fucking get involved in our match, because they don't like each other, They don't drop storyline beats like that. We're so used to that with wrestling. I think AEW has redefined what storytelling can be in wrestling, and I don't think that's an overstatement. You could tell stories a lot of different ways, but Terrence, I know you know a lot about stories. Yeah. Guy who's like reviewed, video games and has very strong opinions about this stuff. Like, where do you land on this?
So my whole thing with AEW, like I was saying earlier, like the whole Street Fighter aspect of like, they are different world warriors coming to have do battle against each other. And I think other countries have done that much better with wrestling than America has done. Like you don't get Blue Panther, you don't get Blue Demon Jr., you don't get Tanahashi, you don't get that kind of thing if you have the same kind of booking or storytelling that wrestling has had in America for the last 30 years. Like NWO, like as much as I was a WCW fan, they also weren't doing the kind of storytelling that you would get in other countries. Like you don't get the sort of emotion of Tanahashi's retirement if we didn't spend the last 20 years watching Tanahashi evolve into the ace that he is today. Like even with his messed up knees, like everyone is just like, yeah, Tanahashi. Like every time you see Tanahashi, it's just like, shit, it's Hiroshi Tanahashi.
He's the fucking man.
Like the C2, like with the C2, like you have Okada in there. Like you don't get Okada the way he is now if you don't have Okada go through all the things that he went through before to now be this tournament wrestler in America, like on a bigger, like, because now everyone can watch it. We couldn't watch wrestling before, but like him being who he is, and then Takeshita being essentially Kenny Omega Ibushi's son.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like him being Kenny's rival and him and Takeshita now fighting and like watching their slow like build up to them eventually going to murder each other. It's like you don't get that in other wrestling. Like you could pull from so many things of just like, well, what if Takeshita wins the C2 and he beats Okada in the C2 and Okada is the greatest tournament wrestler? What if he takes the Continental belt out of the unified title, so the unified title doesn't matter anymore, and Okada just has the international, and so he doesn't have the belt that made him special in this company, and Takeshita has it, and he hates Takeshita. He's gonna kill. He wants to hurt Takeshita, and it's just like all these like small stories that they put in, like even before AEW, like that, like it's obviously on the wrestler. Like it feels AEW storytelling feels more they've placed it on the wrestler instead of placing it on the company. Like it's not like they feel like they take it anywhere. They take that character with them anywhere. I mean, that's like the national title now. Like Ricochet as the national title, he has defended that in various places so far, like 2 or 3 matches outside of AEW, and like he is carrying that Ricochet out into other places. He is not going to play another character. That's just who he is. And like that's why you get invested. Like that's why you get invested. That's why I got invested with Hangman. Like I saw like all of his story. Like I saw him fall, I saw him rise, I saw him fall again, I saw him burn a guy's house down. Like, and even smaller things like watching Orange Cassidy go from a guy who could go in the ring to the international champion Orange Cassidy while still being Orange Cassidy. Like you could clearly see Orange Cassidy as like, this guy is the hero. He is a hero. He's not going to be a heel. Like I don't see him being a heel with his persona and like everything that has led him up to this point. Like he is the babyest baby face. And like his story just continues being like, don't underestimate him. People always underestimate him for everything. Like his character, his wrestling ability, like his ability to talk, like him, when you hear him actually talk, like he's a good talker. Like you have the history of the conglomerate. Like, I'm sorry to ramble on for so long, but
no,
like you have the conglomeration, which is the first family that Orange has had since Best Friends broke up. And it's been like 2 years since Best Friends. And now like him and Chris Statlander are still on speaking terms, even though they were like together. Like the only go-between between Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy is Dustin, and he's in the back. And it's just like, you see him on camera sometimes. It's just like all these small little things that you could point to. They're just like, well, this could happen. Well, this could happen. And then that's storytelling.
Sure. Well, you understand the personal dynamics of each character and the universe that surrounds them, right? So like, for instance, we were talking about Bandito and Ricochet earlier, right? And they're facing off. And this is the beauty of AEW is I'm realizing as I'm watching the final 4 or 5, right? That there's a very good chance it's going to come down to these two guys. And then I'm realizing these two I don't even think they've been in the same ring together yet. I don't even think they have. Maybe at All In, they were both in the gauntlet, maybe, but like,
yeah,
they haven't like had a match, like a singles match against each other, certainly. And I hadn't even thought to want that yet, but they will become part of each other's shared continuity. They will become some form of rival, whether it's for one match or a series of matches after this. Books, your favorite is Kenny Omega. You have been a fan watching Kenny Omega's story kind of unfold in AEW despite his injuries, right? And he was the villain in the Hangman Page arc, the first one. What have you seen? What have you learned about Kenny Omega throughout watching AEW?
So, AEW is successful at character development. And that's exactly what we've seen with Kenny Omega. He's gone through many different, let's just say, phases.
Yeah. Right.
where he's been the villain, he's been the hero, he's been morally gray. But he's like a development.
He's still at the end of the day, he's still Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega. And he could be a bad guy, he can be a hero, he can be anything, but you're still getting Kenny Omega.
Right.
And
Moxley had a interview. It was either late last year or early this year. I can't remember. But he was talking about how AEW, like, you can't just have, like, everything has to matter. Like, everything that you do in the ring, like, has to matter. Like, even the small stuff. Like him on AEW. Like, you see Mox, and that's like shoot kayfabe thing, and he's like, you get a feeling for Mox. Like, you could see him trying not to laugh at RJ's jokes,
Mm-hmm.
but then you hear him on commentary when he's like with the Death Riders, and he's making like jokes under his breath, like, but he's like very intense about like the in-ring action. And then he's like, but he'll like stop and make like a sly comment or something. And it's just like, oh, Moxley's like secretly a funny person,
Mm-hmm.
but he's also like a terrifying monster.
Yeah.
Like, and I think like that's a big reason why AEW has resonated. I mean, going back to what I was saying about how you have these longtime wrestlers in other countries, like, you had them for so long and you love them. Like, people in other countries love them because they have seen them. They've been a part of their childhoods. Like, I mean, I love Sting. Sting is like got to be my favorite wrestler of all time, just simply over his career. Like, because I have seen Sting's permutations. I've seen him do all this stuff. Fucking hate Triple H because he sucks at everything. Like, I've been watching him. I've been watching him since 1995, and he's not good. Like, there are guys you could point to who he doesn't have any sort of evolution in his storytelling. There's no, like, yeah, his character never evolves. Like, he never does anything new. He has always been the same guy, and that guy sucks. He's been like, I don't know how you can make Shane Douglas worse. Like, but they made a guy that's Shane Douglas but worse. And that's like, and we've been missing that in a lot of the storytelling in America. And like, we have gotten it every once in a while. Like, we've gotten characters that have like stayed in the consciousness, but like, I don't think like you like the, like, people who love The Undertaker, they love him because he's the guy who won all the matches. Like, there's nothing compelling to hold on to with The Undertaker. He's the dead man. That's it. Like, there's nothing compelling to hold on to with Brock Lesnar. Like, you could say, yes, there's like if they leaned into Roman Reigns being like, oh, he had to fight back from this illness, he came back, he won the title, like, and he held it, and then he became so embittered by like nobody being able to challenge him, that's when he becomes a villain. But they didn't do that. They were just like, we need a villain. Like, it's the same thing with TNA.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah.
they lack that character development a lot in that other place. Now, because I would compare AEW to like reading a fantasy series, but to the level of a J.R.R. Tolkien, Patrick Rothfuss, a George R.R. Martin, where any little breadcrumb, it could be like a random line, like Ned Stark looking at Jon Snow and he thinks of his sister, and how important that one line is to an entire story. And that's what happens in AEW. One small thing can happen in a random Dynamite, and that is the catalyst for something bigger down the line. And I don't
the women's champions.
Yeah.
The women's tag champions. Like, Harley and Willow were both on AEW Dark. Like, the first AEW show I went in 2020, I think it was, Willow was one of the first matches I saw. And now her and Harley, through their work of seeing them evolve, like go through all this different stuff, and they've come to find each other, like, and now they're using their strengths together to become the first women's tag team champions in AEW. And like, but you get to look back and see all their stuff, like all their stuff is still there that you can go back. You could see Harley doing QTV and like being a goofball on there, and like her harassing Mercedes and like doing all this other stuff. And you could see, and it translates in the ring too. Like their goofiness doesn't just stop at the promo. Like it gives that Joshi feeling of just like, this is why people love Joshi so much, because they have an endearing quality. Like they're very open about who they are. They're very loud, boisterous characters, but like people love them because they do everything well. And like, if you characters, wrestling characters, like I don't know how to, like, I'm just like, it's just the two things, you put them together. That's how it works. And it's never been that.
No, storytelling is so much more than a 30-minute promo that where it just retells everything that's happened. And I don't think people get that. Maybe more people need to pick up a book and read.
Well, sure, or watch a fucking movie or something, you know? I don't think that a lot of people in New York, the wrestling promotion out there, I don't think they understand
They're in Connecticut
anymore. Well, yeah, Connecticut now. Yeah, I don't think they, I think they're so sad.
Yeah, what do you got against House of Glory?
God, besides that loser that got fired from there.
Well, right. Who was paying to be on commentary in the first place. But yes.
No.
I think that ultimately, yeah, I think WWE did kind of forget that themselves, you know, and in a lot of ways, you know, they evolved wrestling, but now they don't like what it's become. And it's like, well, yeah, but this is an outgrowth of what you pushed it to be, you know? So now we have, like, look, you can have the kind of superficial glitz and glamour of like a WWE, which is, you know, amazing entrances, amazing this. But in all of those ways, at this point, AEW really has closed the gap. They do amazing entrances. They do amazing over-the-top, larger-than-life spectacle characters. You know, Tony Storm could only be Tony Storm in AEW. You know, there is no other place for that character to exist, or that a promoter would even allow.
No, Triple H would never have allowed her to have been.
He would have been
timeless Tony Storm.
Confused. He wouldn't have known what to do with that.
Or he would have given it to someone else. He would have given it to a Charlotte Flair.
Right.
They do that. They take stories that wrestlers have given them and give it to someone else.
Yeah. Somebody else to
like, and it would only work with Tony Storm.
Right.
Another thing I was thinking of, so I have watched quite a lot of anime in my life, and so you'll get people who watch Dragon Ball Z and they're just like, you remember when Goku went Super Saiyan, and that's the only thing they ever think about it. They just think about like that moment of like him going Super Saiyan, but it's just like, yeah, but you remember when he died and he came back to life and he was training and he's like doing all these things to like get him ready for this next big threat, and like his friends are going down and he has to be the one who saved them. Like that's like, you can't just have the end. You have to have all of the stuff in the middle. Like you don't just eat the outside of the Oreo, or you don't just eat the cream of the Oreo. Right. Like you have to have your vegetables. Like you have to get into the nitty gritty. Like, would you care about Tony Storm if she was still timeless Tony Storm, but she didn't have the part where she went back to being a rookie? She didn't have the ending. She didn't have her being crazy with RJ City backstage. Like, you didn't have a whole year building her up into this essentially a psychopath who I love dearly. Like, do you care about Mina Shirakawa if she doesn't come in to be the other person? Do you care about Willow if she's not, like, when Willow and Chris are in the in Blood and Guts together and they have to just like kind of back off from each other because they're still not sure about their relationship, like, but you still have to work together. Like, that's more interesting than just like, well, babyface fight heel and then run-ins happen. Like I don't.
Right. I mean, and that's so much of wrestling, and even, you know, even good wrestling can be that way at times. But I would say, you know, Terrence, to your point, the Willow Harley thing is all an outgrowth of Double or Nothing 2024 when Chris Statlander turned heel on Willow. And that didn't just shape Chris Statlander, it shaped all of the characters in her sphere, right? Willow the most, but Harley was willing to give her a chance after she kind of, you know, came back down to earth.
Yeah.
And she is obviously going to be a conduit or a bridge between Willow and Chris at some point. But they're setting it up beautifully.
AEW rewards you for paying attention. And
Yes.
that's how there's, I think that's such a key for their storytelling. It's not for a casual fan. It's not for someone who's going to turn in every other week. So just because, like, and that's what annoys me why, like, AEW doesn't tell stories. If you're watching weekly, if you're paying attention, they are. One of my biggest issues is a lot of like, especially for the Elite, unfolds on BTE. There were hints at the Elite reuniting since BTE came back. Wish they would pull that into the 2 Dynamite and Collision. You can easily just show a little clip.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But they're rewarding you for paying attention. Like, whether it's paying attention to BTE, whether it's paying attention to a random match from 2022. They want you to be a fan. They don't want you to be a casual fan. They want you to be, I guess, a sicko. They want you to be a sicko. They want you to embrace it.
I mean, look at Kyle Fletcher. Like, Kyle Fletcher went from being Will Ospreay's friend and the tag partner of Mark Davis. Like, Mark Davis got injured. Kyle Fletcher goes to ROH, gets the TV title. He has like amazing matches with Lee Johnson. Like, you got the growth of Lee Johnson there. Lee Johnson's still in Ring of Honor, but Lee Johnson is like now with Blake Christian, and they're both circling around the Ring of Honor men's world championship. Like, so it's not, it doesn't feel like a sort of like you need a tenure to be an important character. It just matters what you actually bring to it, because Harley's been wrestling for 4 years. Mascara Dorada has been wrestling for 4 years. Like, Billy Starks has been wrestling since she was a child, and they bring a lot of that, like how she acts in the ring and how she acts towards Athena, like, because she's still young, so she acts like she still kind of acts like a teenager because she's still she just turned 21, like, and Athena is her mentor, and she wants to listen to Athena because Athena is world champion and she can lead her places. But on the other hand, Athena also treats her like garbage sometimes.
Right.
So it's just like, there's people who never had a complicated thought in their life don't understand storytelling, is I guess what I'm getting at.
The best way to put it.
Right.
You have to understand layers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to offend Blade here by this analogy. You have to, like, I bet you know where I'm going. You know,
Layers.
it's like an onion.
I hate stories. I hate stories.
Like, but there are layers to everything, and it's so important. And I think one of the biggest issues is people have been used to being casual fans and getting full recaps of everything that's happened between 2 wrestlers. That is kind of messed with people's brains a little bit.
And that's, let's see, that's not even just wrestling.
Yeah, that's very
in
true.
general, like,
Right.
the rise of, like, as I love TikTok, but the rise of, like, short form content, like, immediate gratification. Like, I'm still waiting on Game of Thrones, the rest of the book series. I'm still waiting on the next book in another series. Like, I've been waiting 10 plus years. Like,
the only reason that vertical video is even a thing is because it's just more comfortable to hold your phone that way. It's like, it's ugly as fuck. Like, it's
they're
just
now making
ugly.
movies this way. If you scroll TikTok, you'll see a real short video. And they're so bad. They're so bad. You want to talk about bad storytelling? Go watch a real short video. They're
Yeah,
hilariously
right.
bad.
Yeah. Well, friends, this is an incredible conversation. Terrence, we need to get you back on here ASAP because this is a lot of fun. Books, always a pleasure. You can find Terrence on social media. For
you
the sake
find me on social media. You don't want to.
For the sake of the audience, it was, okay? Terrence, you can find him at The Black Nerd on a lot of different places. Or if that doesn't work, Godspeed, You Black Nerd, which is how I came to know him originally. And Books and Bodyslams is Books and Bodyslams, just kind of everywhere unless she's not there, and then just go somewhere else. I had a blast. This was a great conversation. Till next time, I'm Blade Daly.
I'm somebody.
Sorry, and I'm Books.
Pro wrestling forever.
Sickos Club.